Hey guys, as always, thanks for stopping by. People ask me all the time, hey Johnny, how do I talk to an anti-gunner? Well, I'm going to say there's no such thing as an anti-gunner. Let's talk about that. Today's episode is brought to you by all of you patriots. You know the drill. Every thumbs up is a big help. So thanks. I'm going to burn right through this. Once again today, I didn't really have a plan on making a video. In yesterday's episode, I mentioned that there's no such thing as somebody who's anti-gun. Maybe across the board you can find somebody that's genuinely anti-gun. But in general terms, in general speak, nobody's anti-gun. People are 100% pro-gun. And that's part of this conversation. Now, I said that yesterday, and I got a lot of pushback from y'all. Like a lot of people emailed or hollered at me or left comments down below and said, Johnny, you don't understand. I've got a person in my life that is staunchly against all guns. And my immediate response is, no, they're not. Not remotely. No such thing as an anti-gunner. I'm not being snarky. This is how I think. I know this. I don't really think this is up for discussion, but if you would like to have a discussion, would love to hear from you. But I don't think there's any such thing as an anti-gun individual. Now, yesterday I used one example, which is all anti-gun legislators have 24-hour armed security. That, I'm not arguing, that's a separate issue. Let's talk about individuals, not legislators, and definitely not people that are in power in D.C., but just your average person, Gladys that lives next door to you. What about Jimmy that you work with? There's a lot of people that would say, I'm anti-gun, and they're not. They're not remotely. Now, I've got a cannon in my lap right now, and I'm going to hold it up here in just a minute. These folks, Jimmy and Gladys, they would never own what I have right here because they think in their minds that they are anti-gun. I'm telling you, they're not. When you talk to these folks, and people, again, they do ask me all the time, hey, Johnny, how do I talk to an anti-gunner? Well, there's a lot of strategies that I use. The big one is relationship. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You got to care about these people. You got to be friends. Go out to eat. Just have a relationship. It's not about getting argumentative and just showing them that they're wrong. If anything we've learned from Dale Carnegie from his book 100 years ago is that people don't care to be told that they're wrong. Now, here's the point of this video and what I want you really to take home, and I want to hear your comments on this as well. After you have a relationship, after you talk to these folks, and they say that they're anti-gun, I think you can say, I don't really think that you are. I think you're pro-gun. And then simply ask them this. If you hear a bump in the night, if it's clear and unequivocal that someone has broken into your house, maybe not even that dramatic. Maybe you're down at Target or down at Walmart and something happens. Somebody tries to break into your car. An incident happens where you feel physically threatened. What do you do? And across the board, every Jimmy out there, every Gladys out there, you know what they do? They call the police. The first thing they do is they call a good guy, sometimes a girl, sometimes a woman, but in general terms, they call a good guy with a gun. Immediately, bam! Call the guy with the gun. Somebody's breaking in your house, call for a firearm. They're pro-gun. They just don't think that you or even themselves should own a gun. They only want the government to own guns. What is fascinating for me, and it makes me excited, these same folks, all of them, maybe not all of them, but mostly, in general terms, most of them also don't trust the government. You have somebody that says, Donald Trump's a horrible person. He's really trying to put us in concentration camps. These are the same folks that only want the government to own the firearms. Like all the guns should be in governmental hands, yet they also don't trust the government. Can't have that one both ways, but they sure do want it both ways. My point is this. There's no such thing as an anti-gunner. They're pro-gun. As far as the legislators, okay, sure, they live in gated communities and they have 24-hour a day armed security. But your average person next door to you, they're pro-gun. They are. They just want the government to own all the guns. And maybe some of them have these idealized worlds where there are no guns at all. But until that takes place in the real world, as we have bad guys with firearms, they also want the government to own all the firearms. And if you ask them, they'll say, well, because they're trained. And it's really, really tough because all of those folks, Gladys and Jimmy, their finances, their money, their cash is protected down at the bank by armed security, but they want your kids to be in a gun-free zone. And that, my friends, is ludicrous. There's no such thing as an anti-gunner. There's no such thing as somebody that doesn't believe in guns. or doesn't want any guns. Okay, maybe there's one out there, but there is nobody, no average person you're going to find next door when they call 911. 911, what's your emergency? Hi, can you send a police officer that is not armed because I don't believe in guns. I don't want my life protected with firearms. I want my life protected with, I don't know, maybe a bat. So even that doesn't really happen in the real world. They want firearms, bam, and they want them now when they are in a particular and a life-threatening situation. Here it comes. It's a big one. Y'all always ask about this one. Smith & Wesson Performance Center 500. It is a whopper. It is heavy. It's expensive to shoot. I absolutely love the trigger. Fantastic gun. And to anybody out there that doesn't believe in firearms, oh, they're real. And you can take them from my cold, dead hands. Thank y'all. Bye.